Please help. Call the meeting of the Bay County Board of Commissioners to order Tuesday, September 19th, 4 p.m. in the Commission chambers. Roll call, please.
Nemeth.
Present.
Benajak.
Present.
Millette.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Radke. Here. Hoyer.
Present.
Pickett.
Here. Let's all rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Lord, we ask that you grant to this Board of Commissioners and all those in authority the patience and understanding to work together for the good of all people. In your holy name we ask this. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have the minutes from 8:15:23 and 9:5:23.
Move to approve.
Support. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Have the agenda approval? Motion to approve.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. Citizen input. You have 5 minutes. Mr. Rowley.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Commissioners, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Glenn Rowley, and I am the supervisor of beautiful Bangor Township. I also have the distinct honor and pleasure of being the District 13 Director for the Michigan Townships Association. MTA has collaborated with the Michigan Association of Counties on many issues, so I'm very pleased that we, along with the Michigan Municipal League, are working together to protect local zoning. I applaud your proactive message with the introduction of Resolution 2023-176. However, with the state's introduction of House Bills 4526, 4527, and 4528 regarding sand and gravel mining, and with the expectation of yet another series of bills regarding short-term rentals, I ask that you consider amending your resolution to discourage any legislation that preempts local zoning. MTA strongly opposes any effort to silence the voices of local officials and residents over issues that have long-lasting impacts in our communities. While they could be incredibly contentious in some areas of the state, the answer is not a one-size-fits-all approach. MTA understands the need and the desire for renewable energy, and many townships across the state already are home to some renewable energy facilities. By their choice, we will work to ensure that communities of Michiganders keep their voice on these important local decisions and will continue to send the message to keep local decisions local. I think Representative Greg Alexander said it very well when he expressed significant concern regarding the idea of removal of local zoning control and giving it to the Michigan Public Service Commission over elected leaders. He said, zoning control and what happens in my constituent's backyard shouldn't be controlled by an unelected bureaucrat in Lansing to streamline what Michiganders may not want. If local communities welcome wind or solar, that should be their choice. End of quote. Once again, I thank you for your efforts in ensuring that local zoning decisions are made by local leaders. Please continue to join me in fighting for the local zoning authority and to not let your local voice be silenced. Thank you all.
Thank you. Any other citizen input? Any other citizen input? One more chance. Close citizen input. Petitions and communications. Our first presentation will be moved back a month or two from Region 7. We have not Bill Boland, but we have his representative here. And you can state your name and position.
My name is Ryan Goebel. I am the water plant superintendent here in Bay County. Bill sends his apologies. He had something come up last minute. He wasn't able to make it, but we've got a good team here to present and tell a little bit about who we are. We've got Alan Cardinal is our wastewater superintendent, and Trevor Jacobs is our water distribution and transmission superintendent. Before I get going, I just want to thank the board for letting us come in here and talk a little bit about us. We take a lot of pride in the work that we do, and it's an honor to be able to share it so you understand a little bit more about the DWS. So first off, I just want to say that we weren't always the Bay County Department of Water and Sewer. Prior to 1980, we were the Bay County Department of Public Works. On June 17th, 1980, the Board of Commissioners took action to remove the Public Works from Bay County oversight. That was through Public Act 342. Public Works was transferred to the Bay County Board of Road Commissioners, and at that point, we became the Bay County Department of Water and Sewer. It's kind of a rare thing. I don't know too many departments of water and sewer that report directly to a road commission, but it works well for us. We got a pretty good system here. So what do we do? Start off with water. We get our water from Lake Huron. That goes through our filter plant. We treat it with chemicals, certain chemicals for disinfection and corrosion control. That water leaves our plant and goes through a series of pipes, our distribution system, and it goes to all the houses and businesses in Bay County that get their water from us. When, after that house uses that water, maybe it goes down through the shower, down the drain, toilets get flushed, that water goes through a series of pipes, the sewer pipes, and comes right back to a different plant, our wastewater plant, and that ends up eventually getting to Lake Huron as well. So we have a big circle. We take water, treat it, get it to houses, and then they send it back and we get it right back out to Lake Huron. We've also got an office group. They're kind of the group that helps us in the background. They do billing for sewage and water usage. They handle customer service. And we've got 58 employees at the DWS, so they handle different things related to employee relations. So we'll start with the water side. We've got some slides to talk about each one of the different areas of the DWS. So I am the superintendent. That's the water plant over on Euclid Avenue. We have 13 water plant employees. This is made up of supervisors like myself. We've got a maintenance group. We've got an operations group. This plant is staffed 24 hours a day. So we have an operator there all the time. And that operator is required to be licensed through the state of Michigan. So they have to have a level of education and experience, and they have to pass an operator test to be able to be in that plant by themselves. It's a bit of a challenge, but we've got a group that we're able to accomplish that. So our plant is relatively new. We started up on August 31st, 2015, so we just celebrated 8 years. The plant is rated at being able to treat 17.4 million gallons of water a day, although last year our daily average was only 7.4 million gallons a day. That's not a bad thing. If we have some businesses come in or our population increases, we have the capability in our plant to be able to handle that. Last year, our total flow through the plant was 2.7 billion gallons of water, so we filtered a lot of water. And we provide water to almost 100,000 people. So we've got a pretty wide area, and I've got a slide that'll show where our water goes. That is a membrane skid in that picture. Again, we're the largest membrane plant in the state. It's cutting edge technology, and I'm pretty proud of being the biggest in the state, and it does a great job. When we made the change to start up this plant, one of the things we did is we changed where we get our raw water. We decided that it was time to hook into the Saginaw Midland Municipal Water Supply Corporation. The cities of Saginaw and Midland decided to install a pipeline in the 1940s because they wanted to get out of the bay. So they installed this pipe all the way up to Au Gres to start with higher quality water coming to their treatment plants. Bay City at the time decided to continue pulling water out of the Saginaw Bay. But when this plant came up, we decided that it was time to connect. And all we had to do was run a pipe a couple miles down the road to tie into the pipeline that was already there. The picture on the left side is a satellite image of turbidity. So turbidity is a measure of how cloudy the water is. And looking at Lake Erie, that's the worst. But other than that, the Saginaw Bay is pretty cloudy. So again, the old plant was pulling right out of that. I worked at that plant before I came to the new plant. There were times the water coming into our plant looked like chocolate milk. It was pretty dirty, and when we treated that water in the summer, sometimes it left a bit of a musty odor. We heard a lot of complaints. Since we switched to the membrane plant, switched to the raw source, get it out of deeper Lake Huron water, our complaints have dropped when it comes to taste and odor. So pretty happy about that. Talk a little bit more about the membranes. It's pretty simple technology. We have a bunch of fibers that are hollow, and they've got small pores. We push the water through those pores. solids and bacteria get caught on the surface of that, and the clean water comes from the inside of that fiber. So it's a physical removal. The particles can't get through. We have 1,920 cartridges in the plant. That center picture, that tube shows one of the cartridges. Each one of those cartridges has 7,400 hollow fibers in the module. So the picture on the left shows the end of one of those. Every one of those is the end of one of these fibers that clean water is coming out of. You do the math, crunch those numbers, that's 14.2 million fibers in the plant that are filtering water every day. So a lot of membranes cleaning the water. The picture on the bottom right is just one of those cartridges. We cut it in half so you can see what those membranes are. It's PVDF, it's like a polyvinyl something or other. I don't know all the letters, but they're flexible so they can handle some of the washes that we do to them, and again, they do a great job. So what happens to the water after it leaves our plant? Well, we got a pretty big service area. The water goes north all the way up past Pinconning. It goes west to just about, if not right up to the Midland County line. It goes down south through Frankenlust, through Merritt Township, and we even have water going through to Tuscola County with Akron and Wisner. Some of the biggest users are Bay City and Essexville. They have their own distribution crews, so when the water gets to them, they have people that are maintaining their distribution system, but for almost all the other ones, those are maintained by the DWS. And the person supervising that work is Trevor Jacobs. So, Trevor is up.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Trevor Jacobs. I'm the superintendent of distribution. So once Ryan's portion of the work is done, the water leaves the plant, enters the pipes in the system, and I take over from there, me and my staff. We have a staff of 15 employees, not including myself. We have supervisors, service technicians, underground crews. 24 hours a day, we have a person on call even after hours. For anything that could come up, be it a water main break down to a leak inside a house at a meter. We'll come out and service that and get the residents back up and going. We also are required to be certified and licensed through the state of Michigan with distribution licenses through Eagle. Our water system and operations and maintenance, we handle meter problems and emergencies, like I said. We have 4 full-time field service technicians during working hours. That's their job all day. They're on the road, in the field, hitting scheduled appointments, getting things that come up through the day. More of a customer service with the meter side of things role. And then I have 6 employees that their position is full-time underground work. Everything from there, you see us working on a fire hydrant, fix a water main, shut off boxes, and then day-to-day maintenance of operating water main valves, things like that, just regular maintenance. Very rarely, I'm gonna knock on wood here, very rarely, every couple years something will come up that's out of our scope. We'll work with local contractors that might have a little bigger equipment to help us get the job done. But we pretty much handle everything on our own. We have so many MISTIG requests come through the Bay County area for the water and sewer system. One of our employees, that's his job. He's a full-time underground locator, performs MISTIG locate requests. And then we have 2 people that strictly read the water meters. We have 91 reading routes throughout the county, and they read each of those 4 times a year, once a quarter. And then I have a maintenance inspector. His role is everything to do with water quality, little higher end troubleshooting and maintenance and things like that, and working with contractors, kind of just a utility person that's always available to do whatever we need. So like I mentioned, some of our normal maintenance is we have a valve exercise program. We try to get a wrench on every single one of our water main valves every 18 to 24 months, and we turn that valve off and back on. That ensures that it works when we need it. It doesn't bind up. We can get on it in an emergency. It's something we really try to stick to. I know a lot of municipalities and utilities don't do that, and they run into a lot of trouble. So we spend a lot of time doing that. And then we flush dead-end water mains pretty extensively. We're such a sprawled-out rural environment, other than around Bay City and Bangor Township and Monitor, that we have a lot of dead ends, and it's a necessary beast for the communities we live in. If people want to have water, you can't just loop everything. So we have about 100 of them throughout the system that we try to visit at least every 2 weeks. We will go out, we'll flush we'll sample the water when we get there, checking for a chlorine residual, and if it's not there, we'll flush it until we obtain it. So in some of your districts, you may see our staff out standing at a fire hydrant, letting it run. That's what we're doing. That's to ensure water quality and keep good, healthy chlorine residuals in the system. And then we handle all of the sampling and reporting for all the communities we service. Some of our sampling is lead and copper, you hear about. Monthly, we have to sample the approved sites for bacteria. That happens every month at the same sites. And then we have UCMR 4 and 5, or UCMR 5 and TTHM sampling. That is disinfection byproducts that can come up in the system. That's one of the things that flushing helps eliminate, is those disinfection byproducts. And then just water quality complaints or anything that comes across, we do that. And then all the sampling we do, it has to be reported right back to Eagle. We have a cross-connection program Eagle requires. We contract with HydroCore to have that done. And then currently we're working on our service line inventories that was required by Eagle. They need to know every service line material throughout the system. This all stems back from the lead stuff you probably read about and heard about in Flint. Basically, we're just trying to find the lead and get it out of the ground, which in Bay County, we do not have much of it at all. So, yeah. With that, I'll give it to Alan for wastewater presentation.
Good afternoon. I am Alan Cardinal, wastewater superintendent for the Bay County Department of Water and Sewer. So we have 22 full-time employees, including supervisors. We have 3 supervisors, an operations staff of 8, maintenance staff of 9, and a couple collection techs, system techs. The plant is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and our operators are also licensed through the state of Michigan. And you can see an overhead view of our plant there. The construction started on the plant, I believe, in 1977. Was completed in 1979. On the top left there, you can see a picture of it just probably a year or 2 after it was constructed. We had a major expansion in 2010, where when Hampton Essexville started coming to our facility. We also added the 53 million gallon storage basin. You can see on the left of the bottom picture, you can see a little bit of that. And some other things, anaerobic digesters for better solids handling, and expansion of our chlorine contact tanks. Our design flow of our facility is about 10.3 million gallons a day, and our average daily flow is about 6.3 million gallons a day. So just to get us to design capacity, we could take another 4 million gallons a day. And we treat wastewater for about 36,000 people in the community. Our wastewater comes from Bangor, Monitor, Calcall, Fraser, Williams, Frankenlust, and Hampton Townships, as well as the cities of Auburn and Essexville. We also have 5 significant industrial users, including Bayview Foods, SC Johnson, the Dow Auburn site on 11 Mile, and soon SK Siltron. You can see the picture there is a picture of our aeration tanks. That is where the bulk of the biological treatment in our wastewater facility takes place. Millions and millions of organisms aerated and mixed. Water at the plant goes through mechanical screening to remove grit and large debris. It then goes through further settling and biological treatment in those aeration tanks. Currently, we disinfect our water with chlorine gas. Because chlorine is a danger to employees and the community, we are working on, by next year, having ultraviolet disinfection in place at our facility. Solids are removed then and treated to become biosolids, and they are land applied on farm fields, which you can actually see a picture of a gator there applying to a farm field. So if you ever see that throughout the county, that could very well be us. Our collection system, we maintain the collection system for all townships. Auburn and Essexville still maintain their own. We have 37 lift stations currently. Starting January 1st, we will take over maintenance of Hampton Township's collection system, and we'll gain 17 more lift stations. We have approximately 1.1 million feet of gravity sewer, which is our most common type of sewer. And again, when Hampton comes online, that'll be another 220,000 plus. We also have some force mains. You can see them. They are in red on that picture. We don't have nearly as many of those, but in Cook Holland especially, we have quite a few. The end of the line is actually Bayview Foods, the pickle plant up there towards Pinconning. We have 24/7 lift station monitoring and on-call response, and also we have 24/7 response for sewer backups and odor complaints, which we respond to as soon as possible. I think that's it. Thank you.
So on to the office and administration building. We have 9 DWS office employees. That includes customer service, human resources, IT, and accounting. One of the most impressive things they do is they send out 20,000 water and sewer bills every quarter. They're involved in anything else. When you have 58 staff members, you have a bunch of other things that you have to do to support them. So that's a picture of the office on Patterson. I don't really have too much else to show, but they do a lot in the background. There's been some confusion over the years on water rates, so we thought we'd show how we set the rate here. So we got a slide here. It might be kind of hard to see, but the blue block shows 2 different aspects of the rate. You've got the base rate and then the local agency, their variable costs. So in 2023, the base rate was $4.11 per CCF. A CCF is 748 gallons of water. So $3.30 per CCF is to pay for the costs associated with running the water plant. We've got chemicals, we've got staff, we've got electricity, all that stuff needs to be paid for. 10 cents of that was a cost-sharing agreement with Bay City. As I mentioned, they had the plant prior to this one, so there was an agreement for some legacy costs, and that's part of that. And then 71 cents is for the water transmission fund. There was an agreement for water transmission in 2017. What that is money gets set aside to fund some of the bigger water mains in our system. We call those the transmission mains. So that if we ever have some big projects with transmission system mains, we will have funding to handle that. So that's the $4.11. Every community can then add some charges based on what they need. So that's the local costs. It could be operations and maintenance of the system. It could be debt retirement if there's something on their system that they paid off over 20 years that they still owe money on. It could be capital improvements. Maybe there's some water mains that need to be replaced. So they tack on some extra charges so they can build up their cash base and replace those. So everyone, we've got 19 communities that get water from us. Everyone has a different rate, and it's set based on what the local communities need. The $4.11 is across the board for every single community we get. And I believe sewer is similar. They look at what they need to run their plant. They set a base rate, and then the communities can set whatever else they need to fund their sewer system. With that, if there's any questions, we're willing to try to answer them.
So the most questions I get are cross-connection. I know that's not popular because it's expensive, which I found out myself. But maybe you want to explain that a little bit. It is a state law that was passed, so we're pretty much bound to do it. So I know you have a company that does that work.
Yeah, I'll take that one. So cross-connection is anywhere in the system where possible contamination could enter the exit source of the water system back into the water system. We have forever been mandated by Eagle to provide a cross-connection control program for commercial and industrial users. As of recently, Eagle has been starting to put pressure on communities to also do this at residential locations. And about 2018-ish, our ticket was finally drawn, and Eagle came to us and said, within the next year, you have to have a residential cross-connection program in place. And what that entails is us going to every service tap in the systems, even homes, and performing a cross-connection inspection and making sure that possible contamination cannot occur from the homes into the system. It's very unpopular, like you mentioned, Vaughn, but it is very necessary because we are finding things that occur that could pose risks and they're not protected. And when the hot button issue would be water-driven backup sump pumps, they are my biggest enemy right now. And they are a direct cross-connection to the water system because they use potable water to interact with sump water, and that's how it removes it from the basements. So those do require a protective device. And then there's sprinkler systems that use chemicals, slop sinks that have hoses running into them could be a direct connection to create a vacuum and suck water in. So it's very intrusive, annoying, costly, but it is a very important thing that unfortunately we are required by Eagle to enforce as suppliers of the public water supply. I guess I would say any citizens that have questions, direct them to our office. We'll do our best to explain the necessity and maybe some workarounds or alternative methods they can use to remediate those problems from their homes.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, otherwise a motion to receive the presentation would be in order.
Support.
Okay. Discussion? One quick thing, I know Jim Barsh is not here, but we would say that Bay County does not run or own the system. It was, like you said, before we did, now we don't. So don't call us, call them if there's any water or sewage problems. So we do get some calls on that, so thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Petitions and communications. We have the Board of Canvassers positions to fill. We've gotten 3 recommendations from each party, and we need to vote, and the clerk says we have to do a paper ballot per the state regulations. So I guess we'll ask people to vote right now.
Please vote for 1 Democrat, 1 Republican, so 1 name from each party, and then also list your name on that ballot, because per the Open Meetings Act, even though we have to use a paper ballot, we cannot have secret ballots. So Dennis will collect those ballots, and then I'll read them aloud, how everyone voted, and tally it up front.
Mr. Poyer, could you collect the ballots? Got some more to collect. You never mind. Work my way around that. Thank you.
You ready? Okay. Commissioner Radke voted for Duff Zuby and Ann Weiler. Commissioner Herrick voted for Duff Zuby and Ann Weiler. Commissioner Millette voted for Duff Zuby and Marie Reese. Commissioner Benajak voted for Marge McLevich and Ann Weiler. Kathy Nemec voted for Marge McLevich and Ann Weiler. Commissioner Begic voted for Marge McLevich and Ann Weiler. Commissioner Poyer voted for Marge McLevich and Ann Weiler. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 votes for Duff Zuby, 4 votes for Marge McLevich. So Marge McLevich will be the new Democratic Board of Canvasser member. And we have, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 votes for Ann Weiler, 1 vote for Marie Reese. So Ann Weiler will be the new Republican Board of Canvasser member.
Yes, we need to make a motion to accept Marge McClevich and Ann Weiler as the Board of Canvassers nominees. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer, foreclosing government unit report of real property foreclosure sales. If the treasurer would like to speak to us, or if we have any questions for the treasurer, he is here.
Motion received.
Yeah. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. City of Bay City, application for industrial facilities tax exemption certificates. Gougeon Brothers, Bay City.
I move it.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we have the Ways and Means Committee, Commissioner Benajak.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Resolution number 2023-154, Williams Township, Coquitlam Township, and Hampton Township, 2024 site agreements. I move to remove this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-155, Bay County Mosquito Control, Eagle Scrap Tire Cleanup Grant. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-156, BCATS, four-year 2024 Federal Transportation Planning Funds and Asset Management Funds. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-157, National Land Bank Network Summit, Treasurer's Travel Request. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-158, L 4029, 2023 tax rate request. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, opposed, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-159, Public Safety Academy Assistance Program, MCOS for the year 2023. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-160, Blue Cross Blue Shield Inmate Services Contract. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-161, Golf Course Budget Adjustments, Food Supplies. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-162, two-year renewal Medicare Advantage Plan. I move to approve this resolution.
Support. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
That's stuff.
Can I just want to.
Yes.
I don't know if did we skip 160?
No?
Okay. She marks everything. She didn't mark it.
Okay.
I'm okay. I don't remember hearing it either. That's why. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry for the interruption.
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay. Resolution number 2023-163, on-base probate court solution enhancements. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign.
Resolution number 2023-164, CBI, Converge Company Customer Care Agreement. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have a correction here for it should be purchasing is requesting this budget adjustment, not ISD. If you want to
Okay.
line out ISD,
Purchasing.
put in purchasing. Okay,
I amend that.
that'd be for 165. Okay, yeah, you can go with the motion now with that change.
Okay, I'll go over it. Motion number 2023-164, CBI, Converge Company Customer Care Agreement. I move to approve this, pardon me?
We did that one already.
Okay, well, okay, thank you.
Go to the next one.
Okay, resolution number 2023-165, budget adjustment. FRP 2023-07, fire protection panel replacement. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-166, payables. I move to approve this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Commissioner Nemec, Personal Human Services.
Thank you, Chairman. Resolution number 2023-167, Eagle, grant funding for the Health Department. I move to adopt the resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-168, Access Technology Service Incorporated Agreement with the Health Department. Move to adopt resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-169, Certified Lactation Consultant Agreement. That's through the Health Department. I move to adopt that resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-170, Michigan Supreme Court Grant Amendments. I move to adopt this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-171, Temporary Registered Dietitian, full-time through the Health Department. I move to adopt this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Move on to the Board of Commissioners. That would be Commissioner Herrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution number 2023-172, reports to the county executive for August. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-173, the Sports Hall of Fame 2023. I move this resolution.
Support. Discussion? So we'll present this at their banquet, and I forget the date, it's early November. I think Mr. Beaver is going in with his wrestling team. Remember the date? It's early November.
It is early November.
Might be the first Saturday in November. It's at the Doubletree, so everybody's invited to attend and see Mr. Beaver get his award for wrestling. That was what, Western or?
93 wrestling team, second state,
Yeah.
43-1. But we had a really good team that year, yes.
Thank you.
So it's an honor.
So we should all attend. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes.
We're going to go just a little bit out of order here, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman. Resolution number 2023-175, Operation Green Light for Veterans, October to November 11th, 2023. I'll move this resolution.
Support.
Mr. Beaver, do you want to speak on this a little bit?
Operation Green Light, it's going to be on the 11th, November 6th through 11th is Operation Green Light as a whole. We encourage all the Bay City residents and maybe businesses, the county building will have green lights on it. So from that time, we want to show green lights, support all our veterans and everything they have done for this country. So if we made the resolution to have it from October to November 11th. And we also have a big, on the 9th, at the community center, we have a veterans, it's at the community center, it'll be from 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock. It's a whole event all day long for, like with speakers. It's going to be a great event. I could give more information, maybe he's looking for it. That's part of Operation Green Light too. So I was honored to go to 9/11 on the Edson boat, and I asked them if they put green lights on that so we can inform the public about how important it is to do this. So I hope that kind of helps explain a little bit. I can talk to you a bit about it, but thank you for making the month in honor of veterans.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Resolution number 2023-176, legislation preempting local control for solar and wind developments. I move this resolution.
Support.
Any discussion? I know Mr. Glenn was here to speak on it, and I think we've got MAC is supportive of it, and I think the Township Association, as they mentioned, is too, so. I'll made a motion, right? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
And last, resolution number 2023-174, the 45th year of service recognition for Gougeon Township Fire Chief James Burke Jr. I will move this resolution.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. We'll have the clerk read the resolution, then we'll have a presentation.
Okay. Resolution by the Bay County Board of Commissioners on September 19th, 2023, whereas the Bay County Board of Commissioners and the Bay County Executive are extremely proud to recognize the outstanding firefighting career of Fire Chief James Burke Jr., who is celebrating 45 years at Gougeon Township Fire Department, and whereas James Burke Jr. began his career with the Gougeon Township Fire Department in February 1978 and was promoted to interim fire chief in April 2006. And whereas shortly after, therefore, James Burke Jr. was promoted yet again as fire chief in August 2006 and presently holds this title as an active and involved leader. And whereas the leadership, commitment, and dedication continuously shown by James Burke Jr. throughout his years and the Gougeon Township Fire Department and to the citizens of Bay County has contributed to the excellent quality of living standard in Bay County, and especially in Gougeon Township. Therefore, be it resolved that the Bay County Board of Commissioners and the Bay County Executive congratulate James Burke Jr. on his 45 years of service and express their heartfelt appreciation to James Burke Jr., recognizing his contribution to the success of the Gougeon Township Fire Department.
Mr. Burke, would you like to come up in here?
No, I'm going to do it on here.
And Mr. Bonanza wants to come on up.
It's all dressed up.
Certificate for you, signed by the Board of Commissioners. And Mr. Bonanza probably has some things to say. He's a Gougeon resident.
Thank you. Chief Burke's been there a long, long time. Everybody knows him. He's been outstanding. He's been over and above what he usually does. All the citizens come to the meetings. He's there. He's active. He's asking questions. We ask questions. As I said, I grew up in Gougeon. If I remember right, the fire station was on Huron Road at Denny's Collision. That's where it was. I moved to Gougeon on M13, where most of the traffic accidents are, in 1964, the year after I was born. So I've been there. The fire, and basically we had the fire hall back there, all that stuff. And what was nice about it is they moved that new fire barn over there, and it makes it easier for access. But on M13, everybody knows how bad it is. It's traffic is bad. So other than that, on behalf of my past resident and the commissioner from my ward, I want to congratulate you for 45 years of service to the community. On behalf of the commissioners here, we all thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Congratulations. Yes.
See, we don't have
I know, but I want to say something here.
Commissioner Herrick, we have an addition. I don't know if you have that on your table there, 2023-177.
I wrote
I do not.
Also, there is
Under the bottom.
a new contract, it's been an amended contract.
That's for the bottom here.
Look here, this is it. I'm writing.
Thank you. I got one now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, resolution number 2023-177. This is the IV-E agreement between the State of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Bay County Prosecutor's Office. I move this resolution.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. So we have, the county executive is coming back from Chicago, I believe, unless somebody else wants to fill in for him.
He is on his way back. He apologizes. He isn't going to be able to make it. His flight hit down in Detroit, I think about 40 minutes ago. So unless he's driving really fast, he's not getting here in time. But he did want me to express thanks to the commissioners for the support of the resolution with regard to local zoning control, and wants to express that he is strongly in support of that resolution to keep that zoning control and those zoning issues local as opposed to at the state level.
Yep. Thank you. Any commissioner comments? Yes.
Look, I was going to say, that she did a lot faster than he would have.
Yes.
Am I up?
Yep.
Okay. I have some questions, okay? So the last week, I've had a couple of things come up that I wasn't aware of at the time the question was approached to me. So one was the bid opening for the feasibility study for the pool. And I happened to be in the county building on a Monday, and someone approached me and said, hey, you're going to that meeting. Well, yeah, I am now because I found out about it. But to my surprise, when I got to the meeting, having first not been told about it, secondly, there were people from the pool committee that were present, and Commissioner Begic. So that was one thing. The second thing that happened to me was on August 15th, there was a discussion towards the end of the meeting about the steering committee for the opioid settlement money. So I am again approached prior to receiving any information about this if I was attending a meeting that was going on at the community center, which I was not aware of at the time. So when I asked for the email to be forwarded to me, I found out only one commissioner was on that, which was Commissioner Benamchak. So I, again, my surprise, I was, the person that asked me about it was surprised I didn't know about it. I'm a 12-year member of the Board of Directors for the Mental Health Board. I served on the River Haven Committee prior to it becoming SUD. And I'm on the Drug Court Committee for the county, and people from that board are on this email, but I didn't know anything about it. So I'm directing this to Amber because there must be a policy or a bylaw of some sort that directs how information is disseminated to a body of 7, not just a couple, but 7 of us to get the information in a timely manner.
I'm going to let Shauna, who's the finance officer, take the RFP question and information related to that first, and then I will follow up with the other information.
So related to the RFPs, related to the RFPs, they're all public bid released. So they're released, they're on our website, they're on Facebook, they're on multiple purchasing sites. We do have public bid openings. That's what you attended and that we did last Friday for the pool feasibility study.
Correct.
And so right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bids on the street. And so each of those contain a list of all of the public dates.
So that's the only way we get the information is if we go on the site and look ourselves.
Yes, we currently don't send out every single
Any kind of a notice.
bid
Okay.
to all of the county employees.
Okay, well,
They're
you know,
generally not
commissioners at
interested,
least,
but,
okay.
and that's something if you want, we certainly can forward it to the board office, and then your board coordinator can send it out to you. But that would be how all of the public meetings related to those
Okay.
RFPs are
Thank you.
disseminated, just for your
Okay.
board's information.
I'm interpreting your question as it relates to subcommittee
Committees, correct.
information? Okay,
Correct.
because there are several subcommittees or committees that have been formed by the board chair for different issues. One of those is the, I'm going to call it a steering committee
Opioids.
related to the opioid remediation and settlement. Generally speaking, if you're going to follow Robert's Rules of Order, as it relates to any type of committee meeting, what you generally do is anytime that there is a committee meeting, less than a committee of the whole, so we have 3 committee members after they've been assigned, it's always a good idea to have an alternate person named if there is one of the regular committee members that can't make that meeting. That alternate can be called to sit in. But if there are meetings of this subcommittee that are scheduled, if at all possible, it should be announced at the prior full board meeting to allow the rest of the board members to know, we have a meeting that's scheduled on this date, this is what it's going to be about, so you at least know that it's coming up. There is a responsibility under Robert's rules that someone is supposed to be taking notes that is a member of the subcommittee during that meeting. And those notes are turned into minutes, and the minutes are disseminated to the full board, and there is a committee report that should be given at the next full board meeting following the meeting of the subcommittee. So at the steering committee for opioid remediation, there should be a minute keeper that is keeping minutes of the meetings. Those should be reduced to writing. They should be distributed to this full board, and the full board should receive them before the board meeting, and then a committee report should be given by the designated person of the subcommittee at the full board meeting. Sometimes it's difficult if you're setting up a meeting after the full board meeting. You're not going to get notice in advance of that. Obviously, the board coordinator could send that out to all of the board members. That's an internal control that could be put in place if the board wants to pass that policy, just so all of the other board members are aware of these different subcommittee meetings that are going on. So if someone asks you, you can at least say, I'm aware of the subcommittee, this is the date they're meeting. I don't know exactly what they're meeting about because I'm not on that committee, but
Exactly.
this is the person that you can contact.
Exactly.
I don't know if that answers your question from
Well,
a
it does,
procedural
because, you know,
standpoint.
you're kind of thrown off when you get approached by something, you're out and you really don't have any idea. So it's like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, we do have that subcommittee as Commissioner Harry, myself, and Commissioner Benajak.
Okay.
The meeting next Wednesday is really a public meeting, and I don't know, have we set, the full board, everybody's invited on that board. It's next Wednesday at the community center. We probably should have got it a little bit sooner. We've sent it out a couple of times to the community people that provide the services,
Right.
so.
So we can go,
You can
or
go,
we
yeah.
can't, because there's already
I-
3. I don't think we
Yes.
can, because there's 3
clarify that.
already on it. That's the deal.
Yeah, so I have a question. It was my understanding when this meeting was set up that it was a public meeting and that members of the public certain members of the public
They were
were
invited. Yes.
invited to attend.
Yes.
If there is going to be more than a quorum present of board members, because you are going to be talking and you are going to be deliberating and you are going to be discussing how to spend this money, which is going to require a full vote of the board, then it needs to be posted as a true public meeting with the clerk being present at that meeting. It's a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners. You have to give 10 days notice. You're going to have to post notice in the building. You're going to have to post notice online. You're going to have to follow all of the requirements of an Open Meeting Act, and you're going to have to conduct the meeting in this format. I don't know if that's what you want to do. If that's not what you want to do, you need to limit the number of commissioners that are present to 3. That does not mean that you cannot open it up, for instance, if you are going to allow other people to watch this meeting online, that the other commissioners could certainly jump online and listen to what is going on. I strongly, strongly discourage, however, commissioners coming and sitting in the audience, because you are going to have an argument that you have reached a quorum. Because as soon as that one commissioner asks one question, you are now in violation of the Open Meetings Act.
Okay, so after this meeting, then how long before the rest of us get the information?
Yeah, we'll be taking minutes, and then working with Heather on, we have to establish a way to disperse the money. So we have to come up with a form. The subcommittee will meet after this meeting to decide how we proceed.
So there's a steering committee.
Steering
Is
committee,
this
yeah.
the one that's going to the meeting next week?
Right.
The steering committee.
Right.
Then who's the advisory committee? Because in your comments in
Yeah,
the 15,
so
there's a
after
sub
the-
and
yeah.
an advisory.
Yeah. So after this meeting, then the advisory committee will be formed from the people that come to the meeting. So we'll select people from the public to be an advisory committee.
Okay. Okay.
And just for clarification purposes, Commissioner Millette, what will happen is that steering committee is going to make determinations, as to forms, as to, it may be different policies or procedures or considerations that they want to take into consideration to decide how to spend this money.
Right.
But those are recommendations. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, we recommend that this is the process and these are the things that we utilize in order to make decisions, but those recommendations are still going to have to be approved by the full board. No subcommittee can make substantive decisions on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. You always have to have a full vote. They can make recommendations that get brought to the board, but they do not make decisions on their own.
Okay. Now can I go back to the feasibility study?
Yeah.
When will we receive the information from the bid?
That is up to Francis Moore. That'd be a question for Shauna. Yeah.
Receive what, the recommendation?
There was a pamphlet that was
Sure.
given to
The-
Commissioner.
So
Yeah.
members of the committee are given all of the materials from the bid, and then they evaluate the materials and make a recommendation to this board as to how to
So
proceed.
We won't see what he has until the recommendation comes
Until
from
the
that board.
recommendation, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a committee, if you want to name the committee for that feasibility study, if you remember. Mr. Barsha.
Kristen, Jim Barsha, myself, you, Chairman,
Francis.
and Francis, I
Francis.
believe,
That's
as the
five.
committee.
Okay.
Sorry, off the top of my head, I can
Yeah.
look real quick.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments? We have some appointments, the miscellaneous, other announcements. We have appointments coming up in October, the Land Bank Authority, 2 3-year terms from the city of Bay City. Bay County Department of Health and Human Services, 1 3-year term. Jury Commission, 1 6-year term. Then in December, we have the Bay County Veterans Affairs Committee, 1 4-year term. Department on Aging Advisory Committee, 4 2-year terms. So if you're District 1, 3, 5, or 7, you should probably check with the person that's there now if you think they're doing a good job and ask them if they want to continue. We'll be making the appointment then. And do we need a closed session?
We do not, but point of order, Mr. Chair, I believe that we skipped over second public input.
Yep.
Which kind of unfinished business. New business. And public input. Yes, we have public input at the end. Anybody wish to speak? Public input one more time. Public input one more time. All right, close public comments. And no closed session needed. Mr. Poyer.
To adjourn?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.